Hello everybody, it's John Neal here, sign writer, and today I am going to do some sign writing for you. I've got a message from Claire Levens from Lincolnshire here in the United Kingdom, and she sells eggs from her chickens and she wants a board to say that for people driving by. Well, I'm going to tell this right from the very start. This is the board I'm going to use. It's about 700mm by 400mm that way, and the first thing we've got to do is paint it black, and I'm going to paint it black with this paint, which is masonry paint, smooth water-based masonry paint, and then we'll put the lettering on with acrylic ink, which I'll either use directly from one of these pens. These are made by Posca, and this one is a Zig Postman pen. The same sort of ink that's in them though. And sometimes I squirt the ink out and use a brush to put on, which I might well do for this. So it's just basically got eggs for sale and a couple of prices on it. So let's get cracking. Cracking. Well, best put some gloves on first, because this black paint is very black. Right, on we go. It will probably take 2 coats, but the roller is extremely good at putting this paint on, so I do suggest using one of these rather than a brush. And away we go. I'm going to do both sides with 2 coats of paint. Now then, would you like to just sit by and watch the paint dry? Of course you wouldn't. Right, a couple of things that I use all the time. One is a crayon. It's a coloured crayon. I don't use pencil. The pencil tends to be shiny on the board and the light catches it and it's a bit of a mess. But a pencil for marking out what I'm going to do. And another tip that I always give is that I will put a border around this. For some reason it just seems to make everything work well. Stands out. So I use this stick that I've got and make a border line so I know where the border is going to go. Chicken eggs, £1 for 6. Quail eggs, £3 for 12. Quail eggs, eh? Wow. Very upmarket. Lovely. Right. Now then, the word eggs has got to be the big thing, really. Now, we can make eggs in sort of an egg shape. That would be clever, but to view it and make it very legible from a distance, I think the best thing to do is to keep the letters nice and straightforward. So eggs is going to be the main part. So from a distance you see eggs as you're driving by, and that's it. You know eggs are for sale, and you can look at the details later. So I'm going to start with a line along the base. I'm catching my fingers on these edges which are still wet. So eggs will go from there to there, and I shall start the word there. So basically it could be, I'll say something about these letters in a minute, but I'm going to put the word chicken across there because we know there can be other sorts of eggs, that is quail eggs and so on, and duck eggs I suppose. Now then, got to put the price. Chicken eggs are going to be as much as they are, which is, let me put that along here. I don't think the price is going to be that important as the word eggs. So we'll just put this as £1 for 6. £1 for 6. Got that. Then quail. Put that at the bottom there. And then we can put £3 for 12. I think I'll use a brush. I've got a range of brushes here. See all these different sort of brushes, and the letters are quite large, so let me go for this fella. And the point of using the big brushes is, if I can do it in one stroke, then so much the better. It will be quicker and look more spontaneous. I don't want to labour the thing at all. So I'm going to squirt this ink into a container and then dip the brush into the ink. Right, eggs there. The movement I make when I do this work will be mostly with my arm rather than the fingers. So it does take a bit of practice to get this right. So I'm going to keep it fairly straightforward, and so it's very legible from the road. Notice the G is slightly higher and bigger than the lines that I've drawn, and that is with good reason, because they sit a little bit, they don't fill the space the same way. Now, the letter S. Obviously there's a top and a bottom. The base of it is slightly larger than the top, so that will go round like that, with that top part being slightly smaller than this bottom part. It's a little bit like a snowman. If you built a snowman, you'd make him a little bit at an angle like that. I can tidy up these edges best I can with the brush, but I can also use the pen later on. So if I put chicken across there, that'll be good. Right, that's that done. Nice, big and bold. Got to be clearly seen from the road. Right, now then, the word chicken. I know this pen works very well. And I'll put it slightly on edge. So if I put the word chicken across here, if I run into the egg word, it doesn't matter too much. So I'm just going to do it quite informal this time. And by running into it, I can go round it, and that will work well. Chicken, eggs, and now we've got quail eggs, so I must put this in a very similar sort of a way. Well, that went quite well. Not perfectly sure about it, but it'll do. Right, I'm not going to fit the prices in properly, so I'm going to put this price here, and I think this pen will do it. £1 for 6, so chicken eggs, £1 for 6. I'm going to use the edge of this. Oh, that's horrible. You can see why the brush is a little bit more precise. Let's use a small brush and put in yellow. And to be honest, all I'm going to do this time is push some of this yellow onto a surface. I can even use just the bench top, because I don't need much ink at all. Quail eggs, and they are £3 for 12. In fact, the brush is much better for putting prices and numbers, I find. Watch this. See, that's much better. Let's put 4 in small letters. Now you might say, why not do this white with this brush? And I would totally agree. So I'm going to scrub that out. I'll show you how I'll do that if it all goes wrong. And just get rid of that, the worst of it. And quite quickly you can do this, so let's get the worst of it out of the way. Get a black and really scrub it out. So that's a big black pen I've got. Now that is going to be a different sort of black, so this is why I've left the roller wet. So I'm just going to dry that off with the hairdryer. Always got this out handy and around. Set on warm. Just turn it off. Good. Put some of this paint back on, the black. Notice I'm using the end of it for precision. Get the same texture. Then I can. So the white at the top refers to the chickens, the yellow to do with the quails. So let's just make sure it's perfectly dry. £1 for 6 eggs. Here we go. Let's put 4 in smaller. That's great. Right, next thing to do is to possibly put some extra to this. Now, I'm going to use orange, and I might just use that small brush again. Actually, that works quite well. So let's get all that ink out and put some of this orange. I'm actually going to use the lid, so I'm going to squeeze the ink, where are we, there we go, out, and a bit of, you'll see it drip in. There you go, milk the orange, don't need a huge amount, and then I can dip my brush into this ink. So let's get the brush reasonably dry and then put a shadow around the word eggs. Now a word about the shadows. I'm imagining that the light is coming from this direction here, so the shadow would be on the left hand side and the lower part of all these letters. So the word eggs is going to jump out with an orange shadow around it. So here we go. Let's jump over that. Orange, of course, is made up of 2 colours, yellow and red. So if I put some yellow in here, it's going to be complementary to the orange which is there now. I'm not going to put blue on or green or something silly like that. And yellow is a primary colour, the orange being the secondary. Getting technical now. Right, having done that, just dried off a bit. There's one extra trick I've got up my sleeve, and that is to get some of this white paint. This white is the black is showing through, so it's not grey, but it's not perfectly solid white. So what I can do, if I'm trying to suggest the light's coming from this way, I can put some extra white on the edge. I don't know if you can see, but that sort of helps the idea that there is light coming from the top right hand side. Gives it a bit of a sense of solidity. Not totally happy with that. Sometimes you don't know how the pen's going to work, so I'm thinking of using the small brush and put that in yellow. But before I do, let me just pop this on here. So a third little bit of colour here, and you see how now that seems to jump out quite nicely. Leave that foot till last and it stands out so much better. Right, see if we can fit this in. Bit of a space here. I'm just going to do this and this, ties the two together. I could put some pictures on, you know, decorated with chickens and so on, but I think there's enough there to be going on with. Right, anything left now to do is put the border around, and it will fit in there. No, no, no. And you see how this border really does help the whole thing jump out a little bit. Now if I've missed that corner, it doesn't matter. So the black pen comes back in and just tidy that up. And that's it. Well, there you have it. Quail eggs, 3 for £12. Chicken eggs, £1 for £6. So I think that can be seen from the road quite well. The word eggs jumps out, and the chicken eggs. Quail eggs in different colour helps stand out. And the prices are fair enough, you need those, but the word eggs I think will be seen from the road, and that should work. So there you are, Claire. If you're around this way, you can come and pick it up. But if not, that's how you do it. I'll possibly send you a photograph of it, and you could get it printed actually. That's another way of doing it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It's very nice to have all 14,000 of you so far. You know what? You will see me again in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye everyone.